Let's make some smoked boneless beef short ribs. Yeah, usually I don't have a problem finding beef short ribs on the bone, but every once in a while I will find boneless beef short ribs. So what I want to do today, because I'm not going to be smoking them until tomorrow, I want to get these seasoned up, and I do actually want to put a binder on these. I know a lot of the times I don't use a binder, and even though there is good surface moisture here, I really like to use this binder. It's a balsamic glaze from Trader Joe's. I think it works really good on beef because it also adds a nice little bit of flavor. And the rub I'm going to be using today is beef and brisket rub from Sharp Gourmet Barbecue. Gonna get a nice coating on here. Make sure we get our edges. And these are USDA prime beef ribs. I am liking the looks of that. It already smells great. This is a great rub for beef. I really, really like it. Now these are going to go in the refrigerator overnight. And tomorrow, I will see you out at the Weber kettle. All right, the Weber kettle is up to temp. My target today is 250 degrees. I'm using the Mallory Firewall and the Mallory cast iron grate. But before we get our boneless beef short ribs on, have a little bit of a sad announcement to make. I have to retire my previous pair of grill gloves. The fingers are wearing out. It's a sad moment. They've served me well for several years, but it's time. But onward to happier times. Let's get these beef short ribs on. Let's get a piece of red oak on for some smoke today. All right, let's get the lid on, get smoking. We'll come back in an hour and check these. I'm not gonna put a temperature probe in these at this point. We're gonna probably go for about 2, maybe 3 hours, and then we're gonna wrap in foil. Yeah, we're gonna do this a little different than I might normally do beef ribs, because at the end of the day, we're gonna be using these in some terrific tacos. So let's get the lid on. See you back here in about an hour. We've been going 1 hour. Temp's been holding really steady at about 250 degrees. Let's go ahead and check our boneless beef ribs, see if we need to spritz some. I might add another piece of wood. That is smelling great. Definitely want to add another piece of red oak. And I am going to give just a little spritz with some plain water. All right, we're going to close this up, keep smoking. We'll come back in an hour and see how we're doing. See you back here in about an hour. We are at the 2-hour mark. Again, temp's been holding really steady. The way this kettle holds temp with the improvements I've made to it, adding the smoke hole, the little kit from S&S Grills, and using the Mallory Firewall and the Mallory cast iron grate, which both act as huge heat sinks, so it evens out the temp. Once I get the kettle dialed in at the beginning to the temp I want, it just stays there. So let's go ahead and check our beef ribs, see if it's time to wrap. Those are looking really good. That is exactly the color and texture I'm looking for. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap these in double layers of foil. Get that back on. Go ahead and get a temp probe in here. Internal temp is right around 163 degrees. We're gonna come back when that hits 203. Then we will pull them and they're gonna rest for an hour while we get the rest of our ingredients ready for our tacos. All right, we are just about to hit 203 degrees. Let's go ahead and check our boneless beef ribs for tenderness. This is that larger rib here. Oh yeah, that's feeling pretty tender. Yeah, that is too. All right, these are gonna go in and they are gonna rest like this in the foil for 1 hour. And as I mentioned earlier, while it's resting, we're gonna get the rest of our components ready for our tacos. So while our boneless beef short ribs are resting now, we're gonna go ahead and get a sauce ready for the taco, sort of a chili Colorado inspired sauce. Now I've got some dried chilies here on my tray, and the reason they're on the tray is because when we cut these open to get the seeds out and the stems off, seeds go everywhere. Tray makes it easy to clean up. I've got 5 Guajillos, 4 Pasillas, and 3, I can't remember the name. I honestly just can't remember which chilies these are, but they're good with this. So let's start with some Pasilla here. Really, you just want to get the seeds out. If a few seeds sneak through, it's not going to hurt anything. Basically like that. Let's get one of our Guajillos. It's as simple as that. And let's get one of our unknown chilies. I really wish I could remember these. It was on the bag and I just can't remember what it was. If anyone out there knows what these are, drop it in the comments. I don't think they are just larger Guajillos. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the rest of these and then we'll move on to getting these ready to get into our sauce. So here are our cleaned dried chilies. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take these over to a stock pot on the stove, get them in there with 1 medium onion that's just been sort of quartered, and then we're gonna cover it with water, bring it to a boil, cut the heat, remove it from the heat, and let it sit there for 20 to 30 minutes for these to really soften and all that to come together. So let's head over to the stove. Bring this up to a boil. All right, we are boiling. We're gonna get this off the heat. And that's gonna sit for 20 minutes. All right, our peppers and onions have been soaking in that liquid. The peppers are rehydrated. I'm gonna get them into my blender now. Something about rehydrated chili peppers. Such great flavor and aroma. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of minced garlic, a teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of kosher salt, and I'll just mix with some of that. Half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, half a teaspoon of cumin, and a cup of the liquid that our chilies were in. And we're gonna blend this up good. A little taste of this off the lid here. Ooh, that's really nice. I do think it needs a little more salt, so maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. And at this point, I'm also gonna add 2 tablespoons of orange juice. Oh yeah, that's good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strain this. It's gonna go in a container, sit to the side, and we're gonna get the rest of our ingredients for the taco ready. So with our beef short rib tacos, I wanna make a little bit of a slaw. So I have sort of just a regular old store-bought cabbage slaw mix here. To this, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of lime juice. Also gonna add about a tablespoon of agave syrup. Pinch of kosher salt, pinch of some cracked black pepper. I'm just gonna mix it with my hands. That's looking good. Let's build our tacos. So in order to build our tacos, we gotta cut up some of our beef rib here. Let's cut down the center here first. Oh, look at that. I am just gonna cut up some hunks to put on our taco. Now you could make some braised beef short rib tacos too by braising them with the chili Colorado sauce. Let's take a quick little taste first. That's really good. Think I got enough? Let's build these tacos. So I have a flour tortilla here that I've just sort of toasted up a bit. Get a little bit of our slaw on the bottom. Now some of our beef short rib. Go ahead and pile on as much as you want. Some of our chili Colorado sauce. Some diced yellow bell pepper. And some scallions. To me, that's looking like a fantastic taco, so let's dive in. Cheers. Here we go. That is one delicious taco. When you combine everything, the rub, the smoke, the time to tenderize, that chili Colorado sauce, the toppings, everything just comes together in this, and it's a perfect use for boneless beef short ribs.